What if I told you you could learn like a Harvard top student, absorb knowledge faster, understand difficult subjects with ease, and actually enjoy learning? The secret isn't just intelligence, it's strategy. Today, you're about to learn Harvard's secret learning methods so you can master any subject like a genius. And make sure to stay till the end, because trust me, the last tip will increase your chances of getting an A plus the most. Tip 1. The interleaving method. Harvard students don't cram the same subject for hours. Instead, they use a technique called interleaving. It's like cross-training for your brain. Instead of studying one subject for hours, they mix related topics. For example, instead of studying math for 3 hours straight, they alternate between math, physics, and coding. Research shows this method mimics real-world problem solving and helps your brain retrieve information faster. By switching between ideas, you strengthen neural connections and improve long-term retention. To apply this method, don't just focus on one subject in a single session. Instead, study multiple subjects in rotation. For example, spend 30 minutes on history, then switch to science, then move to literature. This forces your brain to adapt, making learning deeper and more effective. Tip 2. Harvard's 10,000-foot view. Most people learn step by step, but Harvard students first take a 10,000-foot view. They understand the big picture before diving into the details. Before reading a textbook, they skim the entire chapter, looking at headings, key points, and summaries. Then they ask themselves, what is the main idea here? Once they grasp the broader concept, they go into the details. This approach makes learning faster because the brain already knows what to expect, reducing confusion and increasing retention. A great way to do this is by quickly summarizing what you expect to learn before diving into the material. Ask yourself, what do I already know? What questions do I have? How does this topic connect to what I've learned before? These pre-learning strategies make your brain more receptive to new information. Tip 3. The dual coding method. Harvard students don't just read, they combine words with visuals. This technique, known as dual coding, boosts memory retention by up to 50%. To use this method, turn your notes into diagrams, mind maps, or sketches. Color code key ideas to help your brain categorize and recall information faster. Watching visual explanations, such as YouTube animations or infographics, also strengthens memory because your brain processes images more efficiently than plain text. For example, if you're studying history, visualize timelines instead of memorizing dates in a list. The more senses you engage, the better your retention. Tip 4. Harvard's desirable difficulty. Here's something surprising. Harvard students deliberately make learning harder, a concept called desirable difficulty. Struggling with information before getting the answer strengthens retention. Instead of passively reading, they challenge themselves to retrieve information. You can apply this by trying to answer a question before looking it up, taking a tough quiz before studying, or writing down everything you remember about a topic before checking your notes. The harder your brain works now, the easier recall becomes later. Tip 5. Harvard's sleep learning technique. Want to retain information without even trying? Harvard students take advantage of sleep learning because your brain processes memories while you sleep. The trick is to review key information right before bed. While you sleep, your brain replays and strengthens those memories. The next morning, quickly reviewing the same notes again reinforces the connections even further. Here's a bonus trick. Use audio recordings. Record yourself summarizing important notes and play them at low volume as you fall asleep. This technique is backed by neuroscience. Your brain prioritizes and solidifies recent learning during deep sleep. All right, let's do a quick test. Think about a subject you've been studying lately. Now, without looking at your notes, try to recall the 3 most important points you've learned about it. How many did you remember? If you found yourself struggling, that's a sign your brain might not be storing information in the most efficient way. And that's exactly why the next tip is going to help you boost your memory like never before. Tip 6. The mental map technique. One of the most powerful memory techniques used by Harvard students and memory champions alike is the mental map method. This technique, dating back to ancient Greece, involves associating information with specific locations in a familiar place. For example, if you're trying to memorize key historical dates, you can mentally place each event in a different room of your house. The next time you need to recall it, simply walk through your house in your mind and retrieve the information. This method is particularly effective for memorizing large amounts of data quickly. Tip 7. Spaced repetition. Harvard students don't cram all their studying into one night. Instead, they use spaced repetition, a technique proven to help retain information long-term. The idea is to review material at specific intervals, right after learning it, then again after one day, then a few days later, and finally a week later. This technique forces your brain to recall information at increasing intervals, strengthening neural pathways and making it almost impossible to forget. You can use apps like Anki or Quizlet to automate this process and optimize your study sessions. Tip 8. The Feynman Technique. Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman believed that teaching is the best way to learn. Harvard students often explain concepts in simple terms to test their understanding. Try this. Pick a topic and explain it as if you were teaching a 6-year-old. If you struggle, that means you don't fully understand it yet. Go back, simplify it even more, and then try again. Teaching forces your brain to process information deeply and reveal gaps in your knowledge. And now the final tip, the one that will turn you into an A+ student. Tip 9. Active recall. The hard truth is, passive studying, rereading notes and highlighting text, doesn't work. Harvard students use active recall, which means testing yourself constantly. Instead of rereading, close your book and try to write down everything you remember. Then check what you got wrong. A great way to use this technique is by turning headings into questions. For example, instead of just reading about the Civil War, ask, what were the main causes? And force yourself to recall the answer. This method makes learning 10 times more effective. All right, let's recap Harvard's secret learning tips. Interleaving. Mix different subjects while studying to improve retention. 10,000-foot view. Understand the big picture before diving into details. Dual coding. Combine words with visuals for faster memory recall. Desirable difficulty. Struggle first to strengthen memory retrieval. Sleep learning. Review notes before bed to enhance retention overnight. The mental map technique. Associate information with locations to recall details effortlessly. Spaced repetition. Review material at increasing intervals to lock it into memory. Feynman technique. Teach concepts in simple terms to deepen understanding. And finally, active recall. Test yourself instead of passively rereading notes. So pick one of these tips and try it right now. Let me know in the comments which one worked best for you. And if you're ready to start learning and memorizing like Harvard's top students,